Hello everyone, thank you very much for tuning into today's episode. We really appreciate the support and I love you all so much. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff that keeps the channel ticking over. Obviously it helps with the algorithm and all that other good things. So yeah, other than that, let's get into the main topic for today's episode. And the main topic is, I thought we'd just walk through our water change on an axolotl tank, just because it's one that we get a lot of questions about. A lot of axolotl people aren't necessarily fish people, so, you know, especially if you're getting started, I thought it might be useful just to see what's involved, what do you have to do, is it difficult, is it easy, and yeah, so let's get into it, eh? So this is our axolotl aquarium here. It's around about 100 litres or so. And this is our main man, Frank the Tank, who everybody seems to love. That's him just hanging out, facing the wrong way. I'm actually very surprised he's out of his tunnel. If you've ever been to the shop, there's pretty much a 100% chance he's been hanging out in there. So, hey, we're not going to complain. But yeah, we'll walk through a bit of a water change and general clean of the tank so you guys know what's up. So, to do a water change, all you're going to need is one of these. So this is just like a siphon. You can get it from any fish store. Normally they'll look like, you know, there's obviously different brands, but normally they'll look like this. This one here is ancient, so, you know, I lost the end piece and it's bent and the hose is all gross and everything, but that's basically what you'll need. You need a bucket, so we've got this normal bucket here I got from, I honestly have no idea where I got it from, but, you know, just get it from Mitre 10 or hardware store or whatever. And yeah, so the first thing that you're going to want to do, turn off your filters. So this tank here is running this hang on back filter that's just growing all these terrestrial plants, and then down here it is also running a canister filter to do the actual filtration. What I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to turn them off camera because it's a two-handed job because it's tucked behind there and I have to move that. So yeah, I'm going to turn them off now. So this is it here. What you want to do to get it started is there's a lot of different ways. I just suck on the end until the water starts flowing. Here we go, and now the water's flowing. And here we go. It's just going into the bucket like this. So then what I'll do is I'll go around and in here we got all these dead bits of random leaves and stuff. So what I'll do here is with this end, I'll go around and suck up any bits of sort of poo. So there's like this here's a poo that he's walked all over. And then we go around here and there's like all these dead leaves and just like any random bits of stuff off the ground is what I suck up. Now, while we do that, I guess we should answer one of the most common or important questions that's around water changes. And that is, how often do we do it and how much percentage-wise should we do? And I think that's a bit of a hard question for me to answer. So the reason I'm not 100% wanting to give any concrete numbers is because it's going to vary quite a lot. It's going to vary in terms of how often you want to do it, obviously, but then it's also going to vary how big your axolotl is, how much you feed it, how big the tank is, do you have any live plants and all that kind of thing. So yeah, I don't want to give you guys any concrete numbers just because it is a bit of a, you know, it's a hard one to know. But basic idea is what you want to do is, especially when you first set up the tank, is find out how fast your nitrates are increasing. And then what you want to do is when the nitrates get up towards 40 parts per million, that's when you want to do your water change. Now, obviously that's a little bit scary sounding, but once you get the hang of it, it's fine. So what I found in this tank is if I do 50% water change a week, that will keep the nitrates below 40 parts per million. And so I can kind of just keep on that schedule. I don't have to come back and keep checking on it, but I do because, you know, stuff can happen, things can change, and you don't want to, I guess, bet on it not changing because you want to keep an eye on it because you want to look after your little slimy little bud. But yeah, so I find 50% once a week is fine. You can't overdo it. There is no such thing as overdoing it, but that would kind of be what I'd bank on for a minimum. So what we've got to do now is maintain our canister filter. I did show you the hang-on back that we have, but as I said, that's filled with plants, so that doesn't actually need anything. So if you've got a different type of filter, your way you open it is obviously going to be different. But what we're going to do is we're going to disconnect this. So we close these little taps, just turn that one, and then they unscrew from there, which is difficult when you've got wet hands, but you know, what are you going to do? You do get the odd bit of drip come out, but nothing major. So yeah, now we've got this unit here. So I'll drag this out and then I'll show you what it looks like. So this is it here. So with this particular one, it's got these like clamps here. So you just flick that, and then you do that on all of them, like so. And then this whole top piece, you get all the drips out, will come out. And so now we've got the actual media and the actual good stuff. So what we do, take that away there, we'll get rid of that. And oh, actually I might just tip all the water out. You don't normally have to do this, but I think I might make it a little bit easier for showing you guys. So what I'll do is, this is all the ceramic media, so I'll take that out and then chuck it in here. And so this is the water out of the tank, obviously. So I give that a little shake. It's obviously not very dirty, but you know, there'll be a little bit of random stuff stuck in there. Then we set that to the side. Do that with the next one. So we take it in there and then shake off any little bits. A couple little bits of media fell out, so I'll grab them and chuck them back. So this is the mechanical filter stuff. So this is just those little pot scrubbies. Where did I even get these? I bought a tank and they were included, so I just chuck them in there and just squeeze out, like, you know, you can see a little bit of, you know, assorted muck. So I just squeeze that out in the used tank water. The reason we use the old tank water is twofold. Number one, obviously saving water is always good, but then number two, it doesn't have chlorine in that. There is conjecture about whether or not using chlorinated water to rinse out filter media would actually cause any damage, but I mean, for me, it's, you know, no reason why not to. This is the O-ring here that just sits on there, so I always give that a little quick rinse because may as well while I've got it out. And then now we'll do the actual filter, what would you call this, foam or wool. So what we'll do is we put that in there and just squeeze it out with my hand. Obviously you can see this one's a lot more, it's caused the water to go a lot more dark, it's got a lot more crud in it, all that kind of thing. It's just like, it's nothing bad, it's just general fish waste. It just shows the filter's doing what it's doing. So then now that we've got that, we'll put all this back together and hook the filter back up. So I probably won't record that because that'll be a bit boring, but I'll just put the filter back together and then I'll pick it back up there. So we got this back, we'll just tighten these back on, and this is going to sound dumb, but I only say this because I've made this mistake many times, and I don't want you guys to do the same thing. But make sure these are attached the right way round, otherwise nothing's going to work. And so then just open these two taps again, and you'll hopefully have some water. Oh yeah, there we go. So it's going to fill back up. Like, there's still water in the hoses, so it should be enough to start a siphon. Yeah, it is. I can hear it filling up. So yeah, that'll fill up, but we'll just leave that because we're not going to turn that back on just yet because we've got one other job. So we've got to clean the glass. This is just one of the API algae pads. I quite like these because you do use a lot of those other ones, like, you know, people do the non-fish branded ones, just random cloths and that, but I find they always leave like little bits of crud in the tank, and I quite like these because they're quite wiry, so they're a lot more, they're able to get, if you get any firmer algae growing, they're a bit easier, it's a bit easier to get them. So we'll do that. So I basically just do the front of the glass. And I noticed this plant has come loose, so we'll chuck him back in his little plant house. So yeah, I just do the front glass because I do like a little bit of algae growing on the sides and the back. I think it looks more natural. I do clean the outside of the glass, but we're going to do that at the end just because in mucking around, I'm sure I'll get drips and stuff on it, which would suck if I've done all this work, clean all the glass, and then get it all dirty straight away. So now it is time to fill it up. I just use the hose, so this is just a normal hose attached to, you know, any old water line. The only thing is this one does have a what's called like a carbon block, so I don't need to add any dechlorinator, but I would just add it like right now if I did need to. Obviously, a lot of people fill it up with buckets, and you know, you go through like the whole thing of like adding prime every bucket and all that. Don't worry about that. Just fill the tank up, and then once it's filled, then put the prime in. That'll, like, in those few minutes of waiting for the tank to fill up, the chlorine's not going to have enough time to do anything, and it's just a bit easier that way. So yeah, we'll fill that up, and then we'll clean the glass on the outside. So for the outside glass, I use this one, the API Safe and Easy, but you can use any glass cleaner. Well, I suppose you don't even have to use a glass cleaner, you can just wipe it, but I use this because I find it gives the best finish, and because it's got silicone in it, and the silicone kind of leaves this like little film on the glass that sort of prevents fingerprints and all that from leaving marks, which is obviously important here with kids and that putting their fingers on it, but probably it's not as big of a deal at home. But I do still use it on my tanks at home. I think it's a good option, but yeah, just use anything to clean the glass off. Leave it all spick and span and sparkling and all those beautiful things. So yeah, that's basically how we look after an axolotl. It's one of those ones where it seems very hard, seems very complicated, but when you actually screw down into it, it's pretty straightforward, nothing too complicated. Just kind of do this manual stuff, and once you've done it a couple of times, you'll basically be able to do it on autopilot without even having to worry. So yeah. So yeah, thank you guys very much for watching. Really appreciate it. If you haven't already, please make sure to like and subscribe and all that good stuff. That helps out the channel. But other than that, I will catch you in the next one. Bye.